France. So since it's an opinion question, obviously you can answer however you like, but try to use the grammar when you respond, make a complete sentence, and maybe explain why. So let's begin with Jessica. And Jessica, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? The best food is made in France.
Well, I'm Mexican, but I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But because I haven't tried the food from France yet.
Okay.
But I would like to try someday.
Okay.
I am not sure
Okay.
completely.
I'm not sure where the best food is made. Can you say this sentence, Jessica?
Yeah. I'm not sure where the best food is made.
Nice. Okay, well, okay, that's fair. Of course, we don't know. So if you had to say where you think the best food might be made, where would you guess?
Could you repeat, teacher, please?
Yeah,
I don't understand very well.
no worries. Guess. Yeah, so you said your grammar and your sentence is really good. You said, well, I disagree because I haven't tried the food from France yet. I'm not sure where the best food is made. Let's try one more. But maybe the best food is made in.
Okay.
Made in Brazil.
Yeah.
We'll go through after. And Jessica, for the last thing, please try to say this sentence and finish it.
All right. But maybe the best food is made in Mexico.
Good. All right. Nice, Jessica. So there was some good grammar. So, okay. Great job with the warm-up question. And now let's look at the grammar a little bit more closely. So can somebody please tell me what is the subject of this sentence in blue?
Best food?
Subject.
Best food?
No. Yeah. It's not. The best food is not the subject. Does anybody?
France?
No. France is not a subject.
Food.
Food is not the subject.
Yeah, is the subject.
No, made is a verb.
In, preposition, in.
No, yeah, there is no subject. Yeah, there's no subject in this sentence. Yeah. In this sentence here, what's the subject in this sentence?
Food.
Well, there's no subject in this sentence either. Yeah, there's no subject in this sentence.
The best.
That's not the subject. Yeah, no. What's the subject in this sentence?
Tacos.
Yeah, there's no subject. There's no subject in this sentence. And that's really important because that's why it's the passive voice. That is what makes something the passive voice. So if you look at this sentence, there is no subject in this sentence, what we have is we have an object and then we have a verb. In this case, it's two verbs together. So when you see an object plus a verb, that is the passive voice, and your regular subject plus verb plus object is called active voice. So we're just talking about the order of the parts of the sentence, right? This is not about past, present, or future. This is about changing the order of the sentence. So let's look at another example here. We can do, here's another example. We can do, let's see here. Tom called Bob. What is the subject of this sentence?
Bob.
What's the subject? Tom, yeah, Tom is the subject. What is the verb?
Called.
Called.
Yeah, and what is the object?
Bob.
Bob.
So the subject does the action to the object. The object receives the action from the subject, right? Like, Jonathan, teacher, asked me a question, right? What's the subject here?
Jonathan.
Jonathan,
Me.
teacher is the subject. What is the verb?
Ask.
Yeah.
Ask
And what is the object?
me a question.
Yeah, exactly. Because the subject does the action or the verb to the object, right? But when we have the passive voice, we don't have a subject because the subject is not important. We want to emphasize the object of the sentence. So when you have a sentence, for example, let me show you another passive voice sentence here. Your problems will be solved. Your problems will be solved. What is the subject of the sentence?
No subject.
No subject, exactly. What is the object?
Your problems.
Yeah.
Your problems.
Yeah, right. What is the verb?
Will be solved.
Be solved.
Will be. Yeah, these two
Will be.
words are the verb. Or excuse me, will be solved. Yes. Right. Okay. No subject. The object is in the beginning of the sentence, and then we have a verb. So this is, there's no subject. This is how politicians talk, or this is how government people talk, because there's no responsibility here, right? They are not saying, I will solve your problems. There's a reason why somebody does not talk like this. You don't talk like this because you are taking responsibility. You are emphasizing that you will solve someone's problems. When you talk like this with the passive voice, there's no responsibility. You're not saying who, you're saying what. So that's it. The difference between the active voice and the passive voice is just changing the order, subject, verb, object. That's it. And don't use, first, let's just talk about it. So passive voice, object plus be plus past participle, which is verb 3. That's how you make a passive voice sentence, so it's pretty easy. Honestly, it's pretty simple. But how do you determine past, present, or future? How do you know? What will you change?
A verb.
Change what verb? Change the verb to be, right? So that's it. So if you want to make it future, will be. If you want to make it past, was or were. If you want present, is, am, are. So, okay, so let's practice that a little bit.
Theo? Theo is a name?
Theo, yeah, Theo.
Theo, it's a name.
Theo's the name in English. Theo is short
God.
for Theodore.
Okay.
Theodore.
Okay, so Edith, how about you try number 1, Edith, okay?
Okay. Theo is subject. Sent
First
is
read,
verb.
yeah, first read both of the sentences and then explain. Yeah, so good job. Okay,
Okay.
please read.
Is active voice.
Well, first say the sentence to the class.
Theo sent a message to Bill.
Yeah, to Bill,
Billy?
sorry.
Bill.
Sorry, just Bill, sorry. Okay,
Bill.
now say this sentence.
Bill was sent a message by Theo.
Okay, now explain which one is passive voice.
The second is passive voice
Why? You are correct. Why?
because there is by Theo.
Okay, yeah.
Bill is object in the first sentence.
Yeah, you're correct.
To
Yes. Yeah, Bill is the object in the first sentence. You're right. Yeah.
Now Bill is subject in the second sentence.
Well, Bill is the object still in the second sentence. But when you have the object first, that's the passive voice. So good job, Edith. And I'll just help you a little bit, right? So she is correct. Everything she said was correct. This sentence is active voice, which is subject plus verb plus object. And this sentence is passive voice. Why? Because we have the object plus be plus the past participle, and we have the subject at the end. So Edith said, look, by Theo. I see the word by at the end, and that means it's passive voice. Yes, that is also correct. So in passive voice sentences, often you have by the subject, right? This is very common. And if you see this, you know it's going to be passive voice. So look, the order is different. Passive voice, object, verb, subject. Active voice, subject, verb, object. But you don't need to have this in the passive voice. This alone, this by itself is correct. This is grammatically correct. If you want to put the subject at the end, you can, and this is also correct, but you don't need to. So, wow, that was excellent, really good. Okay, do I have a volunteer for number 2?
Can I try?
Sure, yeah, who was that? Sorry, I didn't.
How, although I have little confused, but
That's okay. That's why you're here, because, you know, we're confused and we need help. So Howell, please try number 2, and then new student Mokhtari can try number 3 after Howell does number 2. So Howell, number 2, please.
your problem will be solved the precedent will solve your problems. So I think the first one is a passive voice
Correct.
because it has an object and verb.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the other one is active voice.
Yup. Yeah, Hawo is correct. And this is correct. So this is not a subject because this subject is not doing an action to an object, right? Problems is not a subject, right? I mean, it's not a person or an animal that can do something to someone else. And Howell correctly figured out that in this sentence, we have an object, then we have, or excuse me, a subject. Then in here we have the verb, and Howell understands that in this sentence, the context, the subject is doing an action to the object, and then she saw here that the object is in the beginning of the sentence, and then we have the verbs in the middle, and look, it's the verb be plus the past participle. So when you have object plus the verb be plus past participle verb 3, that is passive voice. So excellent job, Howell. And now let's go to number 3. And Mokhtari, you volunteered. So I'll introduce you to the class in a moment at the end, Mokhtari, but please try number 3. So read the sentences and tell us which one is passive voice.
Okay, teacher. Toyota are made in Japan. I often feel tired. I think the first one is active voice. Subject is Toyota plus verb plus object.
Well,
Second, what?
Well, let's look. Good job reading, good pronunciation, and excellent job reading. Let's look at this sentence here. What do you think is I? What is I in this sentence? Is I the subject, the verb, or the object, Mokhtari?
It's a subject.
Yeah,
right?
You're correct. I is a subject. And what about this? What is this here?
Feel is the verb.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Tired is adjective.
yeah.
No?
So this one is the active voice. Yeah, exactly. This one is the active voice. Good job. And Toyota's, that's a car. Toyota is a car, right? So here, Toyota is the object. And then we have the verb be, remember, be, conjugated in the present simple. And then we have the past participle verb 3, which is made. So this one is the passive voice. And thank you